Future Dana here. We're trying to reach 10,000 subscribers, and you can help us out by sharing the channel and clicking the subscribe button. And when we reach 10,000, we're going to do a giveaway. So if you want to know what that's about, help us out. Hi, Dana here. Welcome to Solar and Create. I'm glad you joined us today. And if you like what we do, be sure you check out our Patreon page with multiple tiers. Also, on the Etsy shop, I have sewing kits for a lot of the tutorials that we have on the channel. Christmas is coming, and always a fun thing to make for family and friends are Christmas ornaments. So I'm going to be doing a series of videos on different Christmas ornaments that I've made for family and friends over the year. And the first one today is the stacked Christmas tree, and it's a great scrap buster. So let's get started. For today's project, the stacked Christmas tree, you'll just need a few supplies. You're going to need 3 circles, and I made mine all different fabrics, but you could certainly make them all the same fabric if you wanted to for a little more simple look. But you'll need 3 circles, and the first one is 6 inches across. The middle one is 5 inches, and then the small one is 4 inches. And what I did is I just found things around my house that were close to that size and used that. You just want them to be about an inch difference in varying sizes. And then you'll need a little piece of ribbon for your hanger at the top. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our circles and we're going to fold them in half, right sides together, so pretty side together. And I went ahead and pressed mine just so they would lay down flat. We're going to do all 3 circles, and as you can see, my circle is not exactly perfect, and that's okay because all of that will be in the seam allowance. The other thing is all of my fabrics are non-directional. They're multi-directional, so they don't have to go a certain way. If you're using a directional fabric, then you would just need to be careful when you put the tree together that you got that turned the correct way. You could still use those directional fabrics. You just need to be a little more mindful when you're folding and putting things together. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the machine and we're going to stitch around this circle, and we're going to leave a tiny opening right here at the top edge to turn it right side out. So let's go to the machine. Now we're going to stitch all the way around the circle, and we're going to leave an opening right here at the other end, just about finger width, just enough so I can turn this right side out. So I like to start, and we're doing our full seam allowance because this is putting our project together. And I always like to start with my needle down. The one thing you want to try not to do is when you go around that curve, it is stretchy because you're on the bias. You want to make sure that you try not to stretch your fabric as you're stitching it. So you just want to go kind of slow. And if you need to stop and adjust, then do that. Technical difficulties here. Okay, let's try starting here. Like I say, it's when you come around, if you need to lift your presser foot and adjust, then just go ahead and do that. And then right before that opening that I'm going to leave, I'm going to do a back stitch just to kind of secure that a little better. And I'm going to do that with all of my pieces. I'm going to finish my last tiny circle, and I'll meet you back at the mat. Now we've stitched all the way around it, and I like to turn mine over and just make sure that everything caught and is laying the way I want it to. So then we're going to take and we're going to turn these right side out. And because we didn't leave a very big hole, it can be a little tricky. But one thing I found in the past is if I take my chopstick and kind of do it in reverse. So I put it in that seam, and then I'm going to kind of push that up on the stick And hopefully get this corner to come out the opening rather than going in from the opening to the opposite corner. Sometimes on small things this works better. So then I've got that corner, and then I can turn. So again, I'm kind of inserting it in that seam allowance, and I'm steadying my chopstick on the table. And then the hard part is, again, getting it kind of started, where you pull it apart a little bit, kind of feed it over the top of the chopstick, and put it out. Okay, then we're going to take our chopstick and we're going to put it into our circles, and we're going to start in the opposite corner, and we're going to run that chopstick down that seam, and that will help it lay flat. Then we want to make sure that we turn this portion in before we press it. And we want to try to keep that circular shape as best as we can. But don't fuss over this too much because you're going to close it up. So then we're going to press it. And we want to press that seam really well. And then also up here is where my opening is. And I want to press that nice and flat. And if you kind of roll those seams, that also helps them lay down flat. And with this project, this is probably the hardest part, is getting these turned and pushed in so that we can top stitch that closed. There we go. All right. Now we have our half circles. So we're going to go to the machine and we're going to top stitch, starting just like we did the other, putting them together. We're going to start at this edge here, and we're only going to top stitch the curved edge, because when we stack our tree together, then this edge will not be top stitched, just the bottom edge will. So we're going to go to the machine and run our top stitch. Now we're going to top stitch, and remember, one of our main goals is to close up our opening at the opposite end. And when you top stitch, you want to use a more narrow seam allowance. So I'm using the inside edge of my foot as my guide. We're going to start right here at this end. I'm going to grab my thread tails because I'm starting right here at this edge, and that way I can pull them gently, and that will help encourage my fabric to ease through my machine. And again, you just go around. If you need to stop and adjust your angle, then do that. And then when I get back to this other point, I'm going to go all the way off that edge and back stitch. So there is our top stitch piece, and I'm going to finish the other two, and I'll meet you back at the mat. Now we have our half circles and they're top stitched, so we're ready to fold and put our stacked tree together. So the first thing I do is I take my bottom one, my large half circle, and I fold it, and I'm going to put a couple of clips down here at the bottom to hold it in place. So as you can see, this is the back of your ornament where the seams come together, and this is your actual front. So then I'm going to take my second one, and I'm going to kind of lay it on top, and I'm going to bring my second one into, and I'm going to, as you can see, I put it about half an inch from the top of that second one. But if you wanted a deeper layer, then you would just pull it out more towards the bottom. But I like mine kind of tucked pretty tight. So I'm going to stack that one. And I want to make sure that the seam is lined up down the center, but then also, it's kind of hard to hold and show you, but I have it just about the same amount on this side hanging over and on this side. And I'm going to clip it right there to hold it in place. Because when we stitch on the machine, we're going to stitch straight down the center. And this one is a little rougher. This is kind of a little bit more off, if you will. So I think I'm going to use that as my inside. I'm going to put it there. Again, putting my other unit inside. And then stacking. And that kind of holds it all in place. The last thing I want to do is you need about 6 inches of ribbon, and I'm going to make a loop, but when I insert it, I want to make sure that the back of my ribbon is towards the seam. And I'm just going to slip it in place right here at the top. And I'm going to see if I can kind of, I don't know if you can see it, I'm going to try to tuck it under that second layer just barely. So when I go to the machine and I do the zigzag down the center, it will catch it all in place. And I'm going to put a clip there just to hold it in place till I get it to the sewing machine. Then what I do is I turn and flip it over, because this is a side of my ornament. So I can make sure my loop looks the way I want it to, and that my tiers are kind of where I want them to look. And that looks pretty good to me. So we're going to go to the machine and we're going to zigzag, or you can do a decorative stitch. We're going to zigzag down this center so that we catch both sides of the fold and stitch it all together. So let's go to the machine. Now we're going to zigzag down the center to put all this together. And I have set my machine to the widest zigzag that my machine will do, which is a 5. And if you need to know how to set your machine up for a zigzag, I'll put a link in the description to a video where I show you how to do that. We are going to start at the bottom, not at the top. And the reason for that is because this is where my hanger is. And so I want to end here rather than start, because it'll just be a little easier. So I'm going to turn everything this direction, and you want to try to keep the center of your foot down the center of your ornament, and the zigzag is going to go across back and forth, and you just want to make sure that you're catching both sides. So we're going to start with our needle down, and then we're just going to kind of go slow here, making sure that I'm catching both sides of that folded ornament. Now when I get ready to do my second tier, you can see this one's kind of caught under my foot. I need to lift my presser foot and adjust that back down to where it's caught underneath the foot and not pushing it up. And same thing here, when you get to where your next layer is, just stop and adjust where it's underneath your presser foot. And you are kind of going through a lot of bulk here, so just go slow if your machine is struggling a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take those clips off and get them out of my way. And then I'm going to take one side off at a time here when I get to the top. Well, actually, I'm going to have to take both, it looks like. And then I just want to make sure that right there at the top, I'm catching that ribbon and both edges. And I'm going to back stitch a couple of times just to secure it nicely. And then I like to give mine just a gentle pull, not a hard one, but just a gentle pull to make sure it caught all my layers. And our ornament is complete. One last thing that I think I thought of that I could do on these ornaments to make them just a little bit more fancy, if you will, is on my original, I just left it loose like that, which is perfectly fine. But I thought on this one, I might add this star button right here at the top. And you could certainly sew it on if you wanted to, but I'm just going to take my tacky glue and glue it right there at the top. And that just kind of gives that top edge a little bit finished, and it adds one more tiny detail to your ornament. So just an extra thought for the stacked Christmas tree ornament. I hope you liked today's project, the stacked Christmas tree, and be sure to check back the channel to see the other ornaments that we make over the next few weeks. So, see you in the next one.